Episode 10, The Calm Before. The days following the shattering brought a rare peace to Black Hollow. For the first time in generations, the town seemed free from its dark past, and residents walked with a lightness in their step, no longer haunted by shadows of things they couldn't see. Eli and Evelyn had become something of local heroes, their names whispered with admiration by townsfolk who had witnessed their dedication and courage. Yet, despite the newfound tranquility, a lingering unease settled within Eli. He found himself looking over his shoulder, his senses on edge as though waiting for something unseen to strike. It was a feeling he couldn't shake, a cold, unrelenting instinct that reminded him the remnants of the curse might still be out there, lurking in ways he couldn't yet understand. One evening, as dusk crept over the town, Evelyn invited Eli to meet her at the library, where she was researching old town records. She had been combing through journals, letters, and historical documents, hoping to find more insight into the founders and their pact with the shadow. Her curiosity remained unsatisfied, haunted by questions that wouldn't let her rest. "Eli," she greeted him, her voice hushed as they met in the quiet, dimly lit corner of the library. "Look at this." She handed him an old journal, its pages yellowed and brittle. It belonged to one of the founders, Elias Thorburn, and it chronicled a period of Black Hollow's early history in haunting detail. As Eli scanned the entries, he felt the weight of each line, each scratch of ink narrating the descent of the town's once hopeful beginnings into something more sinister. "Listen to this entry," Evelyn whispered, leaning in. She read from the page, her voice tense with urgency. "Tonight, we sealed the pact, binding ourselves and our descendants to the shadow. We believe that this will bring prosperity and security to Black Hollow, but I cannot shake the feeling that we have made a grave error. There is something in the darkness, something watching us. It knows. And I fear it will wait long after we are gone." Eli shivered. He knew, he said quietly. Even as they performed the ritual, he sensed the danger. "But they went through with it anyway," Evelyn nodded, her gaze distant. "They must have been desperate, hoping the pact would protect the town. But instead, it trapped them, tying Black Hollow to something it couldn't escape." As they pored over the journal, one line caught Eli's eye, hidden near the back of the notebook in small, cramped handwriting, "Beware the silent circle. They will guard the secret even unto death." "The silent circle," Eli repeated. "What do you think that means?" Evelyn's brow furrowed. "It sounds like a secret society, or a cult. Maybe the founders had a hidden group, one dedicated to guarding the town's secrets, and the curse." Realizing they'd uncovered a new layer to the mystery, they decided to investigate further. If there was a silent circle, perhaps it still existed, lurking in the shadows, bound by an oath to protect the remnants of the curse. It could be why they'd encountered resistance, why the curse had been so stubborn. The town had guardians, people who would have done anything to ensure the legacy of the pact lived on. Eli and Evelyn spent the following days searching for clues about the silent circle. They questioned townsfolk, pored over records, and revisited locations known to be associated with the founders. But all their inquiries were met with dead ends. It was as though the silent circle had erased itself from history, burying its secrets even deeper than the curse itself. One night, Eli awoke to a strange noise outside his room at the inn. Groggy and half asleep, he stumbled toward the window, peering out into the dimly lit street below. At first, he saw nothing out of the ordinary, just the flickering street lamps casting faint glows on the cobblestone. But then he noticed a figure standing in the middle of the road, wrapped in a dark cloak that blended with the night. The figure stood perfectly still, its face obscured by a hood, hands folded neatly in front of it. Eli's heart began to pound, and a chill crept up his spine as he realized the figure was staring directly at him. They locked eyes for a moment, and though he couldn't see the face, he sensed a piercing, unnerving intensity. And then, without a sound, the figure turned and vanished into the night. The next morning, Eli met Evelyn, his face pale as he recounted the strange encounter. She listened closely, her expression growing serious. "I think we're getting close to something they don't want us to find," she said. "If the silent circle still exists, they've likely been watching us ever since we banished the shadow." They decided to follow the figure's trail, visiting the part of town where Eli had last seen them. They wandered through the narrow streets, scanning for any sign of the cloaked person, but the alleys and winding paths were deserted, as though the figure had vanished into thin air. As they turned a corner, Eli noticed a strange symbol carved into the stone wall of an abandoned building. It was faint, worn down by time, but unmistakably an ancient symbol, a circle with a line through it, encased in a triangle. "That has to be it," Evelyn whispered. "The mark of the silent circle." The realization that they were standing in one of the circle's meeting spots sent a chill through both of them. There were whispers of voices around them, but the streets remained empty. The feeling of being watched intensified, a low hum of tension that pressed down on them as they studied the symbol. "We need to find out where they meet," Eli murmured. "If they're hiding remnants of the curse or trying to revive it, we have to put a stop to it." Evelyn nodded, her gaze steady. "But we need to be careful. If they've guarded these secrets for so long, they won't let us meddle without a fight." The next day, Evelyn received a letter slipped under her door at the inn. There was no signature, only a hastily scrawled message: "If you want to know the truth, meet at the old chapel at midnight. Come alone." Evelyn showed the letter to Eli, who frowned with concern. "This feels like a trap," he warned. "They want you isolated." "I know," she said, her voice steady. "But it might be the only chance we have to learn more about the Silent Circle." Despite his misgivings, Eli agreed to let her go, on the condition that he would follow at a safe distance, staying hidden in case things went wrong. Together, they prepared, arming themselves with protective charms and keeping their senses sharp as the midnight hour approached. At midnight, Evelyn made her way to the old chapel, a decrepit building on the edge of town that had long since fallen into disuse. Its roof sagged, and vines crept along the stone walls, giving it an eerie, desolate appearance. Eli stayed in the shadows, keeping a careful watch as Evelyn stepped through the door and disappeared inside. The chapel was cold and silent, the only sound of her footsteps echoing through the hollow space. Faded murals lined the walls, depicting scenes from the town's past, but the colors had long since faded, leaving only ghostly outlines. In the dim light, Evelyn spotted a figure standing at the altar, shrouded in a long, dark cloak. The hood obscured their face, but the faint glint of eyes flashed beneath it, watching her every move. "You came," the figure said in a low, gravelly voice. "I wasn't sure you would." "I want to know the truth," Evelyn replied, standing her ground. "The truth about the Silent Circle and what you're still hiding in Black Hollow." The figure chuckled, a hollow sound that echoed through the chapel. "The truth? You think you can handle it?" Evelyn clenched her fists. "I'm not leaving until I understand what you and the other members of the circle are doing here." The figure stepped closer, their voice taking on a menacing tone. "We protect Black Hollow. We have for generations, watching over the town, guarding its secrets. But there are things you shouldn't disturb, things you can't possibly understand." As the figure spoke, Eli crept closer to the entrance, straining to catch every word. But just as he reached the doorway, he felt a hand grip his shoulder, pulling him back. He turned sharply, coming face to face with two more cloaked figures, their eyes gleaming with malice. "You shouldn't have come here," one of them hissed. Eli struggled against their grasp, but they held him firm, dragging him into the shadows. He felt a prick of fear, his mind racing as he realized they'd been prepared for this, laying a trap not only for Evelyn but for him as well. Inside the chapel, the figure turned toward Evelyn, a smirk visible beneath the hood. "You've come too far, and asked too many questions. And now, you're going to learn what it means to be a part of Black Hollow, forever." As Eli fought against his captors, he heard Evelyn's cry from within the chapel, the sound echoing through the silent night, filling him with a renewed sense of urgency. He had to break free, to save Evelyn and uncover the truth they had risked everything to find. The Silent Circle had finally revealed itself, and Eli knew they were about to confront the darkest secrets Black Hollow had ever known. End of episode 10.